Jason Garrett is mad as hell, and he's not going to take it anymore. Let's talk about it here in Below the Belt, which is sponsored by D&M Leasing and Window Nation. Jay Jeezy went on with Dan Patrick yesterday. Something Choppy and Jason Garrett have in common. Both guests of Dan Patrick. But Dan Patrick...
You think Jason avoided us when we reached out to him and then tried to get Laufenberg to get him on? You think he...
Yes.
Why, because of all of our interviews with him every Monday, you think he's got some bad blood towards us? Bad taste? Probably.
Yeah, he came on with y'all once after, right?
Yes.
I think
it was to push his new Notre Dame job.
Yeah. So, I mean, wasn't he just as, almost like he was still the coach in terms of how little his answers were?
Yeah. He tells great stories when you get him into it.
Yeah. It's just
but he also has that smile like, yeah, I hate your guts. And he can smile while saying it.
Yeah. The one time I saw him, we've all seen it on All or Nothing. The one time I saw it in person of him just being like that other side of Garrett was we were out at training camp. This would have been 2019. We were out of training camp, and it was the afternoon practice. Remember, they had the 2 split practices back then. Afternoon practice, they're walking off the field, and Dalrymple and PR had media out there. Like, all right, they can grab players coming off the field. Well, they had done media earlier in the morning, but they've always been allowed to stand out there after the afternoon practice. And Garrett was not about it. And he's walking off the field, and he goes, what the F, Rich? What is all this? Why we're not doing this. We're not. And Rich is like, we do this what are you talking about? And he goes, what the F ever? And just stomped off. I was like, oh, okay, that's the first time I've seen the crack and then the Jason Garrett edge or anger to him. Then I saw it yesterday when he got to talking about the Dez Bryant catch. So he was on there talking about various things. Hey, how'd your Titans interview go now that you don't have the job? What did you think of the Brandon Cooks catch, no catch, which he is vehemently in favor of. That is a catch.
Yesterday, a new angle came out.
From NFL Films, yeah.
The new angle showing improving. Did it change your mind at all?
No, not really. Okay, you can slow down the Zapruder film too. But, I mean, the reality is what it is. Brandon Cooks is on here on Good Morning Football right now, too, and apparently they're getting into Terry Pagula and catch and everything with him, so that may be interesting to hear about later. But Jason Garrett...
Cooks also didn't fight.
No, he didn't. He put his head down. He put his head down. Yeah, he put his head down like,
And I think after the game, he's like, I should have done a better job securing it and leaving no doubt.
Yeah, exactly. And Jason Garrett was asked about, hey,
that's what they call accountability.
With the context of the Brandon Cooks catch, no catch, which you believe is a catch, he was asked, hey, would the Dez catch rank right near the top of just the most painful moments in your career? And he said, well, it's 2. He said, it's that. He goes, and then it's Aaron Rodgers throwing that sideline pass in 2016. But that got him going, and you can hear, this is as detailed as I've ever heard him talk about the Dez catch. It sounds like he said this privately to people, but he went down the list of why that still pisses him off.
I was bothered by the call for a couple different reasons. The number of times I had heard prior to that play, how long do you need to catch the ball? Always this idea of, hey, all you need is time enough to make a football move. And the officials who would tell me this, they would say, hey, he doesn't have to make a football move. It's just time enough to make a football move. And if you look at the Dez Bryant play, he catches the ball just outside the 5-yard line. It was one of the most amazing catches, I believe, in the history of football. He catches it and he switches hands with it. He gets 1 foot down, 2 foot down. The third, he lunges. So he switched hands. He's gotten the feet down, lunges a football move. He has the ball here. He extends it. These are all football moves over the course of 5 yards. So he's essentially running with the ball to get himself down there to make that extension. And, for them to come back and say he needs to survive the ground, this thing that seemed to trump everything else, I'm like, how many times have I heard from you guys? He doesn't even have to make a football move. He just needs time enough. And literally he made 7 football moves over the course of 5 yards. And then the other part of it is it was ruled a catch on the field by a guy who was standing right there. And so for them to come into it afterwards and say, it's indisputable that this is not a catch, it was really a hard thing for me to comprehend.
And he's still sour about it.
What was the original call?
It was catch.
Yeah. So
I can make the case that the original call is catch, not enough to overturn.
That's what I was going to say. Hey, Jason's wrong on all the other fronts. I'm rewatching it right here. So he doesn't make 5 to 7 football moves. He takes 2 steps while going to the ground, and then the thing in this instance, and everyone chooses to ignore, and they don't want to be FAF like I am with the Brandon Cooks thing. They're choosing to stop their judgment when Cooks has the football with his knees on the ground. And that's where you're making your mistake. And with this, Dez Bryant catches it. 1, 2. He's still going to the ground. And that stupid loosening of the football where Dez has to re-corral it while rolling on his back by the rule. And again, backyard, I think he had enough possession, like common sense rule. But that ball getting jarred while on the ground is what everyone chooses to ignore. At least in DFW.
He's surviving the ground. It's that simple. Like, it's a common sense catch. It is a catch every which way you look at it, except for the way in 2014, or I guess January of 2015, the rule was written at the time. That's it. It's just the way the rule was written at the time. They made the right call.
Rank the 3 in order of criminal ruling. The Calvin Johnson touchdown, Dez, Cooks. Do you remember the Calvin Johnson?
Yeah, I need to see it again, though.
Look at it again.
So 3 in that I know.
Is Cooks.
Yeah, that I just don't think that was... I don't think that was an egregious one. I'm looking at the Calvin Johnson. My memory, before I look at this, seems to tell me I think the Calvin Johnson one was the worst.
Like, should have been a touchdown.
Yeah, I think.
I agree.
I think that's how I remember it. And I'm looking at it right now. Ball goes up. Yeah, that's ridiculous. I forgot how bad that was.
That's the worst.
I forgot how bad that was. I still believe Dez's is a catch, especially with it being called on the field
by
what
the
it was.
Rule?
By the rule, I think it is a catch. And because it was so, especially with it being called what it was. I don't think there's enough that we see.
No, take that out.
Yeah,
take out the original call.
I still think it's a catch, because to me it's like, the ball is caught, he lands on the ground, and even if he's falling forward, it's still caught down, now falling. Like, to me, going to the ground was his feet touching the ground and having it, and then falling is a secondary part of it. So I still think
then we got into the 2 steps. Does that have to be 3 steps? Because now you can have the ball stripped from you after that second step where you had control.
That's one of the things that Blandino explained that really stuck with me, is that, it is not 2 steps. It's only 2 steps if you're not jumping in the air. If you're running, it's 2 steps. If you jump, it's really 2 steps and. Mm-hmm. So, and that's where the and gets in with Calvin and with Dez. The way that, again, both Dez and Calvin are catches. The way the rule's written, they were interpreted correctly.
Oh, I don't think Calvin's is interpreted correctly at all.
Let me see it.
It's just interpreted. It's just interpreted correctly. The way the rule's written, it's just interpreted correctly.
So, which one do you think is the number 1 catch?
Which one's the most like a catch?
Yeah.
Either Dez or Calvin. You cannot say the Cooks is a catch. I mean, he didn't come away with the football. At the end of the day, he didn't have the football at the end.
The Calvin one,
Calvin, you have to judge that he lost control of that versus I'm done with this catch, I'm putting the ball down.
I also understand the idea of whenever anybody says that's been a catch for 1,000 years, it's a catch now. Because the one that everybody always goes back to, did you ever see the Butch Johnson catch by the Cowboys in Super Bowl 12 against the Broncos? It's hilarious to look at it now. This was a touchdown catch in the Super Bowl years ago. Butch Johnson for the Cowboys. He's extending, and the ball is out of his hands as he hits and that was a touchdown.
Yeah.
And
replay.
That's something where a lot of people look at it and go, okay, if we've been calling it like that for forever, we're just going to flip it up and change it. Garrett
This is the basketball thing.
That'd be incomplete today.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. That they feel like if we've called it a certain way or whatever, we got to just have era consistency about what that is. Jake Ferguson, some of the rules are hilarious. So when Ferguson says, I got my foot down and my shin down in the back of the end zone, but they're like, no second foot or whatever. And he's like, it made me think, and we played the clip. He's like, if I catch the ball at the 1, our 1, and I hop on 1 foot all the way to the end zone, and then my second foot steps out of bounds. Are you telling me that's incomplete? Because I get in 2 feet down? Like, what's the technicality on the rule?
Never fun on this show to go to the Franklin Franco fan text on this subject.
972 guy says surviving the ground wasn't part of the rules yet. I believe that was with the Dez catch. 682, the ball never hit the ground on the Dez catch.
Yes, it did.
830.
Stop.
That's
You're just not saying you're being a homer. The ball hit the ground.
I think the
ball moved.
Yeah, I think they mean it didn't, like, it bounced up, but he caught it. So I think that's what they're talking about.
But it's still, the ball did touch grass.
Right, the ball was forced, jarred loose or whatever.
830 says how is taking 2 steps and lunging not a football move?
All right, I can't keep doing this.
All right, really quickly, over at The Athletic, John Machota ranks the likeliest to least likely candidate hire for the Cowboys at defensive coordinator. He's got his list. He's got his power rankings of what he thinks is going to happen.
And again, Brian Flores staying in Minnesota unless he gets the Ravens or what was the other job?
Was it Steelers?
It was the Ravens or Steelers job, yes. Al Harris interviewing for the Packers DC job, along with Jonathan Gannon. Florio thinks that the Browns are going to just promote Jim Schwartz.
Top 5 candidates from 5 to 1 in terms of most likely, according to Machota. Number 5, Zach Orr, who was the Ravens defensive coordinator last year. Number 4, Christian Parker, the Eagles passing game coordinator, after Vic Fangio was just named by the Associated Press the NFL Assistant Coach of the Year, or Assistant Coach of the Year finalist. Number 3, Durante Jones, passing game coordinator at the Vikings. Number 2, Jim Leonard. Number 1, the likeliest candidate, former Arizona Cardinals head coach, Jonathan Gannon.
Who drove over here?
Below the belt.